Let's talk about some huge Big East matchups we got going down this weekend with the biggest personality in the Big East. He's my man, John Fanta, of course. Happy New Year, my man. That's how we are all 2024. All big energy, all 2024, John.
Well, that's exactly right, Brandon. Happy 2024 to you, and it's going to be a big couple of months in the Big East Conference. There are some loaded matchups on the docket this weekend, and it revs up tonight with UConn and Butler. Once upon a time, that was a national championship game a little over a decade ago.
For those who know Big East basketball, I love the little trivia, the little nugget that you threw in there. Because I'm thinking about, should I watch this game at a bar or should I stay at home and watch with my 8-month-old? Because Butler's coming off of back-to-back double-digit losses. Is this going to be easy money for the Huskies, or is it a Friday night spoiler alert?
I think it actually is a Friday night spoiler alert. I really think that Butler has the pieces to be in this game. Now, will they win it? It's going to take a valiant effort, but I expect this to be tight. Butler's level of urgency in conference play, timing is everything. And the Bulldogs were also close to winning at Providence, fell short in heartbreaking fashion. They come back against St. John's, and St. John's just had their number in that game. So Butler's swallowed a couple of lumps here. But here's the thing about this Butler team, Brandon. They're averaging over 83 points per game. Their offense is dynamic. They have really made a big leap under Thad Matta, top 50 in KenPom in offensive efficiency. But when you're facing Connecticut, you're in for quite the challenge. This is a UConn team that just because they're without Donovan Clingan doesn't mean that they can't execute. Alex Caravan, as well as you go from him to Cam Spencer. They combined for 7 threes in the win over DePaul earlier this week. But Tristan Newton's performing like an All-American right now. And Stephon Castle, the highly touted freshman, has really stepped up. Dan Hurley's team has depth. They've got toughness. And they have elite point guard play. And Samson Johnson right now is filling the void without Clingan. Is he Clingan? No. But I think he's doing a good enough job. And at the end of the day, I go back to Tristan Newton because there's just not many players averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. Butler has not beaten UConn since the Huskies came back to the Big East. So it's going to take a valiant effort. If you're Butler, you need Pierre Brooks and Jameel Telford to get going, and you need DJ Davis to knock down some shots. No Clingan helps Butler because Butler's not as good in the post. I expect this to be a high-level game at Hinkle Fieldhouse. I'll lean with the Bulldogs to pull off an upset and capture some Friday night Hinkle magic. But you better contain Cam Spencer and Alex Caravan. If they get going, it's curtains.
Going with the upset. I was following you that entire time like a Dave Chappelle joke, and then you just dropped it. Boom. There we go, right there. Going with the upset. Absolutely love that one. Next one up on the ticket, we got St. John's, who you talked about, at Villanova Saturday afternoon. Rick Pitino and the Red Storm are 4-1 in their last 5, and that loss was to UConn. But this game's in Nova. You know how those games go down there. Who has the edge in this one?
Well, St. John's has not won on Villanova's campus since 1993. The Red Storm over the last 5 games, they're allowing around 67, 68 points per game. That's better for them defensively. Rick Pitino said his defense was horrible early in the season. He was very candid. With Villanova, you've got to defend the three-point arc. Villanova's averaging 29 three-point attempts per game. 29 three-point attempts per game. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this one because I look at it and I think Joel Soriano versus Eric Dixon is the matchup to watch. Dixon's had 30-plus points in the Creighton and the Memphis games. On the other side, Soriano, he's second to only Zach Edey in double-doubles the last 2 years in college basketball. It is paramount that R.J. Lewis continues to perform at a high level for the Red Storm, that Jordan Dingle and Danish Jenkins perform. I think it's key for Villanova to limit, or rather for St. John's to limit Villanova's shooting from 3. Justin Moore, game-time decision. He's been out here the last 4 games for Villanova with an injury. I'll be intrigued to see, can Jordan Longino, can Tyler Burton, Hakeem Hart knock down shots? But this is the weekend of upsets. I'm taking the Red Storm to take down Villanova I like the way this St. John's team is playing, and I don't think they're done. I think they're just beginning. Soriano negates Dixon. If he wins that matchup and Jenkins and Dingle knock down some shots with Lewis, I'm leaning the Johnnies here. I think they're peaking, and they're just starting.
Man, you had me at hello with that one. Rick Pitino hit the transfer portal like Coach Prime did, and it's absolutely working out for him with his first season out there in Queens. I want to get your thoughts on Providence, man, because they started the season off so strong, but then they lost Bryce Hopkins for the year with the torn ACL. Next man up mentality. How do the Friars fill that void, and what does this mean for not only their conference but March Madness chances?
This is a huge blow to the Friars. As you said, they were off to a magical start to the Kim English era. 10-0 at home until Wednesday night when they dropped 1-2 Seton Hall. Nice win for Shaheen Holloway's Pirates, but a heartbreak for Providence. Bryce Hopkins, you do not replace what he does. There's nobody on Providence's roster that can replace even half of what he does. He's a guy at 6'7", really difficult to defend, averaging 16 and 9 per game. He's got that it factor. He's got that big body build, and so they post him up at the 4, and he just creates a mismatch. Now without him, Providence can't just replace him with somebody or two guys. Brandon, they have to change the way they play. Now, Devin Carter's averaging about 16 points and 8 rebounds per game. He's balling. He's the son of Anthony, who's now a staff member of the Memphis Grizzlies. Anthony Carter, longtime pro. And Devin inherits those genes. You know, Josh Oduro's got to step up on the interior. But I think for Providence, they've got a kid named Garway Dual, who's a 5-star freshman. They need him to start to break out. Sometimes with freshmen, you've got to live through their mistakes. And Kim English might have to live through his mistakes to capture the most out of him. You know, Jaden Pierre and Corey Floyd, they're solid guards. But this Providence team, they're lacking firepower now without Hopkins. So I'm saying for the Friars, they got to play small ball. They're probably going to have to play some 4-out, 1-in with Oduro inside. And they need ticket gains. The George Mason transfer to knock down some threes. But they really need their one-and-done potential prospect. And Garway Dual, the freshman, they got to be willing to live through the ups and the downs and say, let's bet on some upside because we lost the certainty on this team in Hopkins at the 4. Devin Carter's the alpha. He'll continue to be the alpha. But as I've said before this week, it's harder to be the alpha when the guy that's right there with you on the stage now isn't a part of the show. So now everybody's going to zone in on guarding him. They need the guy that's the understudy in the play that now is going to get inserted to shine and perform like the main star.
Yeah, when you're a freshman, a 5-star freshman at that, and you're in your 15th game, you're a youngster no more. The lights are on, the camera's rolling, and you have to step up and hit some big shots. So I feel you on that one. Before you run up out of here, which Big East matchup this weekend are you watching as a fan, not as media?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
I'm intrigued by Marquette at Seton Hall. It's tomorrow at noon at the Prudential Center. It is a sellout in Newark. The Pirates are 2-1 in the Big East with wins over UConn. We talked about that. And now Providence. They handed Providence their first home loss of the season. Shaheen Holloway has his team playing like his St. Peter's Elite Eight team. I'm not saying that this Seton Hall team is making the Elite Eight. I'm saying that they're playing really good basketball. Kadari Richmond's a New York kid, and he's playing New York basketball. He had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists at Providence. Seton Hall with momentum, a full house in Newark on Saturday afternoon. They've got Alamir Dawes, Dylan Adewusu in the right zone. Tyler Kolek's the reigning Big East Player of the Year, and you and I both know he's cold-blooded.
Yep.
What does that matchup look like as the reigning Big East champs come to New Jersey for a road test? I'm intrigued.
Man, you say it's a packed game. I might, try and bring my son. I might have to name drop you, see if I can get some free tickets or something, man. You're the man in the Big East.
I can get you taken care of. I can get you taken care of in New Jersey, Brandon.
Love it. John, man, Happy New Year. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Happy New Year to you, too.